Stop. You know, while doing a YouTube search to make sure that the original title I had for the show, Asking for a Friend, was coming up, well, it did, for a bunch of other people's established podcasts. So I wanted clear air for myself and for others who were already established, and I didn't want to cut their lunch. So I thought long and hard about what this show is all about taking certain films and certain TV shows and asking questions that you guys can answer. Pretty much unGoogle-able questions. I wanted to say that word. Not why did such an actor replace this guy or why this character was given this name, but stuff like was in my pilot episode about Hogan's Heroes. Yeah, things like, why did the Germans always speak to each other in English even when they're by themselves? Stuff that I'd like you guys to answer in the questions below. Let's have fun with this. This is episode 2 of my brand new show. Well, it's episode 1 under its new title. So here is the new theme and the new title, one befitting the theme of this show.
Here's your next rabbit hole. There's unanswered questions about films and TV shows. Please answer in the comments section below. Like, subscribe, and let that notification bell toll. Here's your next rabbit hole.
G'day and welcome to a new era. The now rightly named Here's Your Latest Rabbit Hole. I'm your mate from down under, Southern Joe, and here's your latest rabbit hole. We're going back to 1995 and looking at one of my favourite Frasier episodes, The Innkeepers, which is from season 2. Now, just quickly, for those of you who don't know, Frasier is a spin-off from the TV show Cheers. It follows Frasiercrane as he returns to his home base in Seattle. He buys a beautiful new apartment and ends up taking in his estranged dad, who had just been put into retirement after being shot by a robber. He was a policeman. Frasier ends up hiring an English physical therapist named Daphne, whom his brother Niles has an instant obsession with that he initially keeps a secret, as he is married when the series starts. Rounding out the ensemble cast is Ros Doyle, Frasier's producer at the radio station KACL, where Frasier has a call-in show. Now, coming up, we'll be asking some interesting questions for you folks to come up with interesting answers for. I also promised to explain the question in the thumbnail to prove that this show is not clickbait. To head to the break, a quick trivia question. What does the show Frasier have in common with another 80s hit TV series, The Fall Guy? Answer will be after the break.
If you see kayfabe, join your wrestling mate, Southern Joe, to watch this episode of If You See Kayfabe.
G'day and welcome back to Here's Your Latest Rabbit Hole. Before the break was the question about what do the hit TV series Frasier and The Fall Guy have in common? The answer? The actor sings the theme song. Yet Kelsey Grammer, the star of Frasier, sings about tossed salad and scrambled eggs, while Lee Majors sings the unknown stuntman for The Fall Guy. Now, as promised, The Innkeepers. This episode opens with Gil Chesterton, who's the food critic, bagging out a restaurant and then announcing that Orsini's, a famous restaurant in Seattle, is closing after 53 years. Now, question here is, Ros seems to be producing for Gil as panel operator. Why? She is Frasier's producer. Gil normally has the outlandish Lance as his producer. Let me know what you think of this predicament in the comments. So here's the plot. In Frasier, Niles visit or seen his one last time and get inspired to buy it and rename it Happy Brothers Restaurant. I'm not going to try that French name they give it. Just a disclaimer, it needs to be made. It's going to go right here. Now we get in the guts of this episode. Because of the boys calling the dank little corner the Enchanted Grotto, I have named certain species in my life after this. Have any of you done this? It's another chance to hit up the comments and let us know. Now, apart from the unsanitary dipping of the finger into the cherries by Frasier, why do they keep adding more alcohol? They've got a big bowl of cherries Jubilee. Now, my wife had a question. Why did they have only one bartender for such a large restaurant? The head chef, who was convinced to work for the Happy Brothers because it was well known he was unhappy in his old restaurant, was that unhappiness due to the same thing that happened in this restaurant with the interference in his presentation that Niles and Frasier did? Now, apart from Bulldog being seated in the Enchanted Grotto, what do you think about Gil's move to bring 5 food critics to his supposed friend's opening night? And when Frasier says they're all booked up, Gil decides to go to the only table available. Do you agree that that wasn't his place to call dibs on whatever seat he wants? What if the table was already reserved? But all this pales in a comparison when Roz goes to light up the cherries Jubilee. Why did they add so much brandy or whatever alcohol they poured into it? Just like the thumbnail asks, just how jubilant did those cherries need to be? Now, one last question. The poor lady that asked for her car to be brought around after everything exploded, only for the senile old Otto, the waiter turned valet, crashed her car through the wall. How did that poor lady get home? She wasn't in shock when her car became wall art. It's a great episode, but one with unGoogle-able questions. Now it's your turn. See if you can pronounce unGoogle-able, but forward me with as many fun answers as you can. Let's have fun with this, folks.
Here's your next rabbit hole. Here's your next rabbit hole. There's unanswered questions about films and TV shows. Please answer in the comments section below. Like, subscribe, and let that notification bell toll. Here's your next rabbit hole.